welcome to the Game Beans. I'm Alfiexx, and today we are looking at the Guild Wars dungeon changes. I was going to do it when they changed COF and CM, but then I heard that there was some updates coming out, which came out on the 25th. It should be pretty, so I thought I'd do a video on that instead. So, what changed then? A massive change was to the rewards of the dungeons, which I think they've done it good, better than it was, but I still think that it's pretty shit how the rewards are. So they say they've made some significant changes to the dungeon. So instead of when you complete a dungeon, you get 20 tokens. So if you keep on farming it, you should get 20 tokens. But I haven't really done the diminishing returns yet for that. But I'm pretty sure it stays as 20 marks for completing it. And then if it's the first time you've done that dungeon in the day, instead of getting 20 tokens, you'll get an additional 40. So say if you're doing, for example, COF, Citadel of Flame, there are 3 routes in there. So each time you do one route for the first time on that day, you'll get 20 marks and an extra 40. So in total, that'd be 180 marks, which is a minimum to get like a helmet, gloves or boots. Not a helmet, gloves, boots, belt, or I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so that's how that works out. That I say that is good because then people don't constantly farm one all the time. They might want to do different ones, different dungeons, because you can get 60 for doing one route. Like yeah, but the only thing is, if you count counterproductive how fast Route 2 is in COF, is it really worth doing the number one, Route 1 and Route 2, unless you have a really good group to do it fast? Like you might be able to do 3 runs of the second route of COF and get 20 tokens by the time it takes you to do it once on the other one. So maybe it might be faster to do COF second run again. So I was thinking maybe if they changed it so you got an additional reward for doing all 3 of the routes, or how many routes there are in a day. So if you did all 3 of the dungeon routes, like route 1, route 2, route 3, you'll get an additional, I don't know, 60 tokens maybe. So you're like, do I want to do this? So instead of getting 180 tokens, you'll get 240, which is another a little bit more for a little bit more tokens. So I think if they did that, it would make people do all the routes of the dungeons to get a bonus reward. I think that's what they should have done, really, because I still think people are still going to farm the same routes because of that, really, because it's not really the biggest amount of, well, it is a big change of tokens, but it's just not significant outdo these speedruns, which that's what they need to do. So anything else? Well, yes, dungeon tokens are also now account bound, so you can swap your tokens between characters if you want to use one character all the time, or if you've got 3 guardians in one dungeon and you want to get a different character, you can swap that in and still get it for whatever. I think that's quite cool. We have introduced a system to limit rewards for repeating dungeons clearly. Well, that's like the diminishing returns. You get less money and less loot. So you're only really there for the tokens anyway. You're not really there to get good loot, because there isn't any good loot in there. You make a little bit of money, which is good, but you're only mainly there to get the tokens to get good armor. That's all you want. You want once I did, I farmed a COF2 to get good armor, so then I can go to the other dungeons and do them, because obviously the other dungeons are really hard. So I thought if I get better stats, maybe the higher level dungeons would be easier to do. So that's why I did that, because I thought, that's good. Well, what else did they change? They changed like a little updates of like Citadel of Flame, where mag must be closer to draw aggro, all that kind of
But all
stuff,
the light and
blocking
medium
bugs
armor I
and
get just salvage it all from the
uh,
materials.
issues where people were exploiting to get around faster
And
places.
if I get any stuff that I don't
Nothing
like
much
the look
changed
of,
there,
just
but
salvage that
they
as
did
well.
change the Catacombs and Cadacious's mana armor. So instead of it now being level 60 to 70, they now made it level 80, so you can get the looks of the gear, which I think is pretty good. So you don't have to use a transmutation stone on a level 80 item. I think that's good, but they
I
weren't that good looking anyway, so you know,
had
oh
a
well.
load of light and heavy,
Uh,
light and medium armor.
any other big changes happen
But
in
saying
here?
that, I've had
Well,
about 5 or 6
oh yeah,
damage
just to note,
curses and
in the
one gold
background there
potion
is the
on the
video of
chest.
the
Is
new
that the only way to
COS.
get it?
We did it as a speed run, so uh, it's not that bad. It's quite cool. I thought it was okay.
So what
It's
have you
not that
spent
bad.
these honor points
It's
on?
it's just pretty much exactly the same. You just do if you fuck up the mag and the run part, and you just got to do it a little bit
Just
longer. Otherwise,
get PvP
they made the
salvage it.
additional timer on the part where you have to run round,
Yeah.
which you wasn't supposed to anyway, supposed to kill them,
You ever
is
bother
easy.
buying chests
On
from
this video, I think we killed the first 4 and then stopped running. On the other day, we killed all of the mobs that spawned. We killed all the mobs faster than they could spawn. That was good. I thought that felt good, and it was actually really fun to do. I think it was better to kill them all than just run around in fucking circles and getting dizzy. Pointless. It was not very good at all, in my opinion. So I like doing the other routes of dungeons, but it's just like, what's the point? One takes like fucking forever. You might as well
Oh
just
Jesus!
farm one and get the
Moses
tokens
in the middle
easier.
of nowhere and
That's
start
what
knocking on their
that's what everyone's doing. It's just much better to do, in my opinion. Uh, any other big changes? They changed the storyline. If you didn't
what rank
notice,
are you,
at
Alfie?
the end of the storyline, you got no spoiler alert. A chest, like a five chest of a loot. It was like an epic chest, no exotic chest. And when you opened it, instead of getting like 78, like 80 items
Just
that
go press
you
H
would
to
have
go
thought you would
across
get,
the rock.
they made it so you got like level 10, level 20, level 17, level
How many
30,
points you
40,
got?
all different kinds of little items. So I got shit from that chest. But they said now they're now going to improve it.
So
More
level 5.
improvements will be made in the coming weeks. Players who completed the story before the final update will equally contemplated once the rewards are in. So hopefully, because I got shit rewards, what did I get? Low level items. I should get better stuff. And the fight, the Zaratan fight, I can't say that dragon's name. I thought the dungeon was awesome, all the way up to it. As long you did loads of boss fights, got loads of chests and stuff. That was awesome. But then when you got to the end part and it was just on the wall and you got to press 2 all the time, that was pretty boring, to be honest. I think they would have made it better if it was a ground fight, or maybe if he was attached to the side of the air thing. So instead of like flying around shooting and you got to kill all the mobs on the deck, he would jump up on the side, hang on to the side of the ship, and it would break all the cannons. He would uh, use tentacles from his mouth to hit you, and you got to like be on the ground or on the deck of the ship to kill different parts of him to make him fall off the ship, or and then go onto the side, and then you got to cannon him down for the last bit. I think that would have been more better. Instead of the deck people shooting him, he takes onto the deck, and we uh, make him fall off the ship onto the side, and then cannon him down. That would have been an epic fight, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys would think it. Put it in the comments how you think the end fight should have been. Because I thought it wasn't the best, the end fight, but it did look pretty sick. And if they all the tactics that they've got from the dungeons, they would easily be able to make an epic raid with all the different uh, stuff that the bosses do. I thought that was just insane, to be honest. That would be amazing, I think. And the looks of the stuff as well. That's just like a MMO raid head's dream for these graphics, these tactics on bosses. To have a raid like that, that would be insane. Can you imagine that? If they did that, that would be awesome. But they wouldn't. I wouldn't make it, so well, I don't know. It would be good, to be honest, having a raid like that, where you got to look after yourself. What was it? Like, I think it was something kind of like EverQuest, and maybe I'm not too sure. If they had it like that, we can have as many people join. I don't think I would have it as many people join. I just have it so. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool if they could do that. Do like a mini raid boss. Like we've got all the world event bosses, which are sick. The one in Frost Gorge is insane, massive. Love him. It's awesome. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. It's a world event boss, like a massive ice dragon, and just watch him as he flies around all the time. I think that's on the third time he goes up in the air, or the fourth time. Watch him. It's good. I love it so much. Big monsters. I'm liking them. So there's nothing else really significant change to the dungeons except the rewards really. Hopefully they, because they're obviously doing more content, they'll bring better dungeons. Hopefully reduced. Oh, I know. Oh, that was it. Why don't they make it so you can do whatever dungeons and all the tokens are what do you say? Can be used. You have just one set of tokens, and you can buy whatever from each dungeon. But the only thing is, to buy set items from whatever, you have to do each one of the explorable modes in that dungeon to get to buy from that vendor. So yeah, you might have done you've done all the COF paths, and you've got like I don't know, 600 tokens saved up. But so you're like, yeah, maybe I could go to the other vendor because they're all the same tokens and buy them. Instead, you have to do all four explorer modes to buy something from that vendor, which is I think that's pretty reasonable because if it on the Ara, for example, there are four routes, so in total that would be 240 tokens from the thing. So you could go round doing all the dungeons and getting all the bonuses because that's 60 per run. So instead of farming one dungeon, you can go to each single one and do them. And if you've done all four, three, how many explorables there are in that dungeon, you can buy the gear from that vendor. I think that's pretty reasonable. It means you don't have to farm the same one all the time. But you have to at least do it once to get the armor, so you don't have to go round farming the same fucking dungeon, the same routes all the time, which gets so boring. You can go round to each different ones doing what you like. I think that would be awesome if they did that. But it's them, so we have no idea what will happen. To be honest, I think it's just going to stay like this now. But I think that would have been a good way to do this. So I'm just going to leave you now with the rest of the dungeon. Hope you enjoyed me talking about the updates, how I think they should have gone. Post the comments how you think they should tackle the rewards in the dungeons. I would like to hear what you have to say. And thank you for watching. I've been Alfiexx. See you later.